Alright, the title of today's video might be a little hot, but I'm gonna try to keep cool. After all, I do believe that the D2 community is the best when we're all on the same page and not at each other's throats. We're also people, and by design, we just up from time to time. Anyway, there's really only 3 things on my mind right now, kind of driving me mildly up the wall. I'll go through each one at a time. But before we get any further, let me tell you about the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. I'm of course talking about War Thunder. Play more than 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships in dynamic combined arms PvP battles. Every vehicle is incredibly detailed and modeled down to their individual components, offering a highly immersive combat experience. If you're a vehicle nut, you're gonna love it. The collection of vehicles in War Thunder span over 100 years of development from the 1920s to the present day. There's also an in-depth customization system for vehicles. Apply hundreds of camouflages, place historical markings anywhere on your machines, as well as 3D decorators such as bushes and equipment. Gotta tell you, for me, I'm impressed with how damn visually impressive the game is. Highly detailed graphical elements like the destruction effects combined with the insanely on-point vehicle details, you'll be blown away. I mean, like literally, you'll be blown away in game, but you'll dig it. Don't wait. War Thunder is available right now on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox using my link, which you can find down in the video description. There's also a large free bonus pack for registering using my link, including multiple premium vehicles, premium account boosters, and much more. Hit up that link, and thank you again to War Thunder. Once again, today's video is sponsored by War Thunder for PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Use my link in the video description to sign up and play online today. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thing number 1, Datamine mass hysteria. Data mining is kind of a tricky subject in D2. I think it's mostly fine, but to a degree. Those of you with good memories know I've put out videos on my channel properly flagged as spoiler-filled content, by the way. That's what we call foreshadowing right there. Talking about upcoming weapons and upcoming perks that were added to the in-game API before actually dropping into D2. I personally think stuff like that is fine, covering a new sandbox option just days before entering the sandbox. That way people can wrap their heads around the gun or the new perk or whatever and think about if they want to pursue that weapon or not. And of course, I obviously point out that the video contains spoilers if people want to learn about whatever I'm covering on their own. But deep data mining is where things get a little tricky. Recently, there was a leaked data mine fiasco that caused a lot of drama in the D2 community. The leak apparently contained info about Bungie's grand plan to change Destiny 2 from a free-to-play game into a monthly paid subscription game. Of course, because it was uncovered via data mining, it was therefore seen by many people as indisputable proof that this was eventually going to happen, and Bungie just hadn't announced it yet. As you can probably imagine, that caused a fair amount of chaos. I didn't even dig that up on my own, but had multiple discussions which turned into arguments in my Twitch chat regarding that leak. Would D2 even work in this mode? Would it cause regular players to quit? And so on and so forth. Well, it turns out that shit wasn't true. After things started getting really spicy in the community, a member of a D2 data miners Discord admitted it was all created as a joke in a now deleted statement. Quote, was just gonna let this keep on going, but since it grew really large and people are actually worried outside of the server, we just wanted to formally apologize and admit that we trolled everyone. This will probably make a lot of people angry, but it was all meant to be done non-maliciously. Can't really stop people from trolling, but for the love of God, can we please remember the golden rule of thumb? Nothing is confirmed until it's confirmed. Goes with all video games, really. In this case, if you hear a rumor, even if it seems to be fairly credible, be sure to mention that it is not yet confirmed. And I'm not saying don't talk about it. I'm fine with talking about rumors or speculation. I have a video up on the channel regarding a possible new Bungie game, but I'm always sure to really mention up front that every rumor should always be taken with a grain of salt. Nothing is confirmed until it's confirmed. If we stick to that rule, we'll just have one less thing to argue about with each other. We meaning the community. And hey, we'll probably still argue, but one less thing, you know? Thing number 2, not marked spoilers. Jesus titty Christ, why do so many people break this sacred unwritten code? Even some of my fellow content creators do this, and it really kind of drives me crazy. As I mentioned earlier, leaks and data mining are probably always going to be a thing, for better or for worse. I've also mentioned that I've put videos up on my channel talking about things in the API that are not yet in the game. However, every time I do this, I clearly mention in the video, hey, spoiler warning, and more importantly, I do not spoil things in my thumbnails. I think that spoiling things via a YouTube YouTube thumbnail is mad disrespectful to your own audience. Again, I hate throwing shade because I know content creators who have messed up and done this before, but then later apologized and changed the thumbnail, which is cool. We all make mistakes, you're good. But it keeps on happening. Look, I'm a content creator. I am not afforded the luxury of living my D2 life spoiler-free. I waved bye-bye to that a long time ago. People routinely tag me in spoiler content on Twitter or just straight up DM it to me. Not because they're mean or they want to ruin my day or anything, but because they think it's neat and they want to share the information with me and hear what I think about it. And I've grown to become okay with that, as long as it's not like info on a day one raid or anything. But for all the people out there who don't play D2 for a living and want to experience fun surprises organically, good God, think about what you're doing. Recently, there was a really cool thing in the new exotic mission featuring a big secret door. I made a video on all 50 orb locations if you want to open that door on your own, by the way. People figured out how to get into the door way earlier via out of bounding, which again is fine, but what isn't fine is just going on Twitter and posting pictures of, hey, here's what's behind that door, by the way. Like, dude, what the f? You probably spoiled that for a lot of people out there who wanted to open the door on their own. Here we have a good example of how to use the warning sensitive content option on Twitter. That way you have to go out of your way to click show and opt into a spoiler. Although I do feel this post should also 100% have text that says, spoiler warning, this is what's behind the door in the exotic mission. Don't click it if you don't want to find out. But still, GG for flagging the image. We can talk spoilers in the D2 community and in the world of content creation for sure. Some people really like doing that, including me, but give people the option to opt out. Don't force show people spoiler stuff. It's not cool. Thing number 3, attacking each other over connection-based matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking. Borderline didn't want to mention this one today because every time I do, literally every time I do, it turns into a fight. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't want to have the conversation. I actually do eventually want to have the conversation about connection-based versus skill-based matchmaking because it's an important conversation to have. What I don't want to happen is people throwing around personal attacks and saying wild, insane shit just because people don't happen to agree with the other side. Usually when the matchmaking argument goes down on Twitter, each side eventually gets angry, and then it all boils down to one of the following. When the connection-based matchmaking side gets angry, they resort to, lol, well, you just suck and you're a dad gamer. When the skill-based matchmaking side gets angry, they resort to, all top PvP players are assholes and all you want to do is just stomp noobs. I feel like this is a really important discussion we should have, but we as the community never get anywhere because it all just turns into a big shouting match. Legit, I got $5 that says a fight might break out in the comment section on this issue alone down below. Who's taking it? Anywho, thank you for all the love on the Titan and Hunter exotic armor videos. Be sure to turn notifications on because the Warlock one is coming this week. Hit me up in the comment section regarding any of the topics I went over today. Would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on stream.